Erlebnis Park Tripsdrill is a quaint little amusement park located in southern Germany. It dates back to 1929, so it's actually the oldest park in the country, yet they've been expanding quite a lot in recent years. But this isn't a review video, this is just a short list compiled of Tripsdrill's 6 roller coasters. I got to ride each one during my visit this past summer, so it's time to rank them up from worst to best. Let's get things started. Starting off this list at number 6 is Rasender Tausendfüßler. This translates to Raging Millipede from German to English. The park's smallest coaster is still a decent ride overall. You'll find these Zero Tivolis everywhere around Europe, and America for that matter, but it's understandable as to why they've become so popular. They're sizable enough to thrill the little ones and can work in just about any terrain or environment. This one is situated above some nice landscaping work, and at one point you can actually reach your hand out and touch the grass. That's something you don't see every day. At number 5 is Volldampf. This translates to full steam in English, implying full steam ahead. You'll notice how the ride's train is themed in the style of a steam locomotive to fit the name. Volldampf is a Vekoma family boomerang that was intertwined with the larger Vekoma inverted coaster, Hallzuberkopf. It's a relatively tame ride for sure, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great attraction for all ages, it's smooth, and it has a backwards element. I think children and teenagers alike will both be able to enjoy this one. Number 4 is Gesundte Sau. In the area where Tripsdrill is located, they speak a local dialect that translates Gesundte Sau to fast rider. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but cool I guess. It is also the original Gerstlauer bobsled coaster, and actually the first Gerstlauer roller coaster period. It's surprising to me that they did so well on their first try. So many coaster manufacturers started a little rough, but Gerstlauer didn't, and I think part of that has to do with this being a smaller project. Gesundte Sau is not too crazy of a ride, but it does build up speed on some of those helixes and quick transitions. A Gerstlauer bobsled, for those of you less informed, combines thrilling moments like that and implements classic unbanked wild mouse turns as well, so you can definitely expect some lateral forces. Another thing I liked about this ride was the cool German architecture, almost like a castle that the coaster was built around. It makes the presentation of the ride look really cool and makes the on-ride experience interesting as well. At number 3 is Mammut. This is the world's only Gerstlauer wooden coaster, and in my opinion, it's a little underrated. It's actually quite controversial amongst roller coaster enthusiasts, not because it's rough, but many complain that it's tame and uneventful. Now sure, it isn't too intense overall, but Mammut still does have a bite to it, and it also has its moments that enthuse me. Particularly the tunnel sections, those are really fun, and I also thought the first drop was quite punchy in the back row. In addition to some of these standout moments, Mammut has some pretty cool theming before the lift hill, and it's very smooth for a wooden roller coaster. I'd say it rides most similar to an Intamin prefabricated wood coaster like El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure or Colossus at Haida Park. Which makes a lot of sense, since the company that physically built the ride, Cordes Holzbau, also involved in those projects. Alrighty, let's up the intensity and quality with our number 2 spot on this list, Hallzuberkopf. This one translates to head over heels, but because the German text doesn't imply this connotation as romantic, it is seemingly an incorrect translation. Instead, I think the name references going upside down, which would make sense given that the Überkopf part of the name also translates to upside down. So with that information, I'm sure you're expecting Hallzuberkopf to have some inversions, and you'd absolutely be right. It has 3 throughout its layout, and they're all super fun moments. They're all 0 G-roll corkscrew style maneuvers, though many would argue that the Junior Immelmann here is a 4th inversion. Other than that, Hallzuberkopf offers some really fun airtime pops, which is rather unusual for an inverted coaster. Granted, these airtime moments aren't super strong, nor were they as good as I was really expecting, but it's definitely still there. Overall, the coaster isn't as forceful as one may expect from watching it off-ride. It's definitely bridging the gap between family and thrill coaster in my opinion, but don't take that as a negative because it is still a very fun and very great ride. Vekoma was able to take the old Vekoma SLC model that nobody liked and change its image with the newer STC model. It's really smooth, it has great lap bar restraints, and it is a major improvement to the SLC. But to me, that still wasn't enough to place it at the number 1 spot on my list. My favorite ride I experienced at Tripsdrill was Carajo. This is one of Europe's most beloved Gerstlauer coasters, and for good reason. When it opened in 2013, it was far and away the largest attraction Tripsdrill had ever built. It has a diverse array of elements, including a top hat and 4 distinctly different inversions. I also love the launch at the beginning, blasting riders from 0 to 56 miles per hour in 1.6 seconds. If there is one thing I was minorly disappointed with, I didn't think Carajo had the best airtime. I've ridden many Gerstlauers that have great airtime moments, but every time we hit an element that should have had great airtime, it seemed to slightly underdeliver. But everything else about Carajo is great, and that's why it is my favorite roller coaster at Erlebnis Park Tripsdrill. So with that, let me know if you've been to this park before and how you'd rank their 6 roller coasters in the comment section below. Tripsdrill is a lovely park overall with a solid little collection, but they also have so much more than just the coasters. I hope to have a review on this park as well as the rest of the parks I've visited in Europe released at some point in the future. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye guys.